Alright, we're at Avenal, California for the 2017 Avenal Sand Drag Spring Nationals. We're in the middle of Pro Bracket Eliminations, starting off round number 2 with the Pro 3 category. Big Pro 3 field here today. Not sure what the number ended up being first round, but it was around 32 cars in this class. So, huge field, and we're in round 2 right now. Be around 16 or so taking the track, and we should have some really good racing here as we continue on here on the final day of the 2017 Avenal Sand Drag Spring Nationals. Starting to get a little bit of a breeze here, which is helping out a little bit. It's getting pretty warm. It's probably, I don't know, 85 or so. But the breeze is very welcomed. Actually, there was no breeze this morning, and we had these weird gnats and flies and stuff flying around and making things kind of uncomfortable around the whole facility here. But we got a little breeze up again and knocked those things down, and it's pretty comfortable this afternoon. So we're getting ready for Pro 3, round number 2. Like I said, there's going to be probably around 16 cars left in this class. Then we'll go to Pro 2 and then to Pro 1. So we'll stay live here for a few of these classes, give you a taste of what's going on here with the Pro Bracket Eliminations this afternoon. Had some really good racing so far in round 1. Saw quite a few upsets. The track's been really good this weekend, been extremely consistent. Everybody's got their cars pretty much dialed in from running Friday and Saturday. And like I said, the track stayed very consistent. So it's been pretty easy to get the car dialed in. So we'll see Top Eliminator back up here in probably, I don't know, half hour, 45 minutes or so. We'll have the final for Top Eliminator live, of course, with Jim Rossi and Mark Whitmore. That's going to be a great race. So here we go, first pair in Pro 3, round number 2. It's going to be Jim Lahr over here on the near side, up against April Soares. Both are dialed in at 426. Which is the quickest dial you can go in this Pro 3 category. This should be a really good race. Jim Lahr's been on his game at the SoCal Sand Drag Association races, and he's made a couple good laps already here today in Pro 2 and Pro 3. And April Soares is always in the late rounds here at Avenal, so this ought to be good. And Jim Lahr turns on the red light. April Soares will move on to the next round. She was 422 at 67 miles an hour. Yeah, Jim put it in pretty deep there, and staging and turned on the red light. So next pair, it's going to be Chris Pintor up against Tony Soares. Chris in the brown square body Chevy pickup, 451 the dial, 473 the number for Tony Soares in the red Jeep over on the far side. To Chris Pintor over here on the near side, 464 on the 51 dial, 487 on the 73 over on the far side for Tony Soares. Looks like Chris had the starting line advantage, and he got the win. So move on to round number next. It's going to be Ron Hess over here on the near side in the Mad Mouse Fiat out of Barstow, up against Kyle Gilmore over on the far side in the Jeep. Kyle dialed in at 459, Ron Heston at 458. Ron Hess over here on the near side. He goes 459 on the 58 dial. Nice reaction time. We'll advance on to round number 3. This should be a good race. Next up, it's going to be Debbie Mark out of Washington in the Dragon Lady Buggy up against Dennis Reich in the Hammer Down Bracket Jeep out of Carlsbad, California. 470 the dial for Debbie, 426 the dial for Dennis. Debbie's been making good laps here today. Dennis getting the bracket Jeep figured out. Should be a close race. Like Dennis turning on the red light on that one. Debbie Mark gets the job done with a 479 over here on the near side of the track. So Debbie Mark will go to round number 3 here in Pro 3. So it appears we are going to groom the track here real quick. We'll come back with more round number 2 of the Pro 3 category. I want to thank all the folks here that make the action happen here at Avenal Sand Drags and DeArtney Farms, of course, Ron, Jeannie, and the whole Red Warrior team. Big thank you to them for not only all they do for this event, but also for our National Sand Drag News coverage from this great race. Jay's Communications from right here in the Avenal area, as well as C&K Harvesting. Avenal Lumber, Ron Moran, Ron, his son Eric, wife Julie, the whole crew there. They do a great job here in Avenal, keeping everybody supplied with their commercial industrial needs. Mid-Valley Disposal, great local company, as well as Sierra Pacific Materials. Ross & Sons Refrigeration. Ross Racing's been out here this weekend putting down some great laps in their 59 Chevy and the 91 step side. Also the Hanford Trail Busters and Carl Tippin's Construction down there on the sponsor board. So big thanks to all these companies that help make things happen here at Avenal Sand Drags. We're 300-foot sand drag racing at the 2017 Avenal Sand Drag Spring Nationals. We're in Avenal, California, about halfway between Fresno and Bakersfield in Central California area. Tractors are coming back. We'll be ready for the next set of cars. We go through round number 2 of the Pro 3 category. As you can see, pretty quick clean of the track. The track equipment here does a phenomenal job. And not only keeping the track consistent and raceable, but getting it done in a quick and timely manner, that's for sure. Well, next up is going to be Andy Oliveira over here on the near side in his V8 powered buggy. And he'll be up against Charlie Johnson in the Mopar powered Jeep over on the far side. Charlie was your runner-up in the Pro Gambler yesterday. Came up just short to Kenny Hayes, who's been unbeaten this weekend. Kenny's strung together 17 round wins in a row so far, as he also took his round 1 win in Pro 1 this morning. So it's going to be Andy Oliveira near side, Charlie Johnson on the far side, both dialed 4.50. And the win light to the far side, Charlie Johnson, 461 to a 454 for Andy. So Charlie had the starting line edge and held it through the finish for the win. Next up, a couple A couple local heavy hitters here in their full-size Chevy trucks. It's going to be Eric Moran over here on the near side up against Barbara Irvin. Eric Moran's dialed 472. Barbara's in at 562. And the wind light to the near side. Eric Moran, 492 on that 72 dial. Looks like he had a pretty solid reaction time. And he'll move on to the next round. Now it's going to be Chris Adamson over on the far side, out of Norco, in the Bounty Hunter. Up against Cameron Schlicht in his new Altered over here on the near side. First weekend out for Cameron in this ride. He's dialed in at 458. 426 the dial for Chris Adamson. Chris was your double-up winner on Friday as he took both the Pro 2 and Pro 3 classes from the conclusion of the October event here. And the win light to Chris Adamson, 441 on the 26 dial. Nice starting line advantage, and he'll continue on in today's eliminations. Next pair, Justin Adamson in the near side, also out of Norco. In the Rape Tape Jeep up against Brandon Montgomery in the Team Hardcore Chevy pickup. Brandon dialed 510. Justin 428. And that one's going to Justin Adamson, 441 on the 28 dial. Had the starting line advantage and turns on the wind light. So Team Adamson going around. We just saw Chris and Justin both advance on to the next round. And that's it for Pro 3, round number 2. So we're clicking through eliminations here. We're going to clean the track here real quick. And we're coming back with Pro 2, round number 2. Pretty good field in Pro 2 as well. I'm not sure what the exact number was for first round, but it was somewhere around 20, I believe. So definitely a pretty strong field in Pro 3 and Pro 2 today. So you're watching the National Sand Drag News live stream presented by Avenal Sand Drags this weekend. We're in Avenal, California for the 2017 Avenal Sand Drag Spring Nationals. 300-foot sand drag racing. Avenal, California is located about halfway between Fresno and Bakersfield in Central California. Beautiful facility here. Really well set up venue for sand drag racing for the 300 feet sand drag track with tons of shutdown down there past the finish line. Got the great scoreboards down there on the edge of the track, and staging back there. Really cool setup there. They're able to load into a hot box type setup. There's 3 lanes on each side, and you just pull straight ahead and run. So kind of cool that they're able to find such a narrow, long piece of property. And man, it's set up really well for sand drag racing. So Pro 2 is coming out next. You see the lanes filling up as they load into the hot boxes. Like our first pair is going to be pretty good battle. Mike Williams Sr. will be over here on the near side out of San Jacinto in the White Lightning Jeep. And Mike will square off with Joe Simeone in the Simeone Racing I Love It Jeep. Both racers are strapped in, ready to go. Waiting on the signal to pull forward for round number 2 of the Pro 2 category. So Mike Williams Sr. over here on the near side, 3.83 is the dial. Joe Simeone, far side, 422 is the number he would like to run right here. Mike Williams Sr. over in the near side taking the win. 388 on the 383 dial. Joe Simeone with the breakout by 12 thousandths of a second. He goes 420 with an 8 on the 22. But Mike Williams Sr. going to round number 3. Next up is going to be Jeff Dye over here on the near side in the brown Jeep up against Greg Wagner in the supercharged black and green Jeep over on the far side of the track. 4.00 the dial on both sides of the track here. Win light to Jeff Dye over here on the near side. Not sure what happened there. Perhaps a stage foul over on the far side. 454 was the number for Jeff Dye. And he will move on to the next round. This ought to be a good one. Charlie Johnson in the near side in the Mopar Power Jeep up against Jim Lahr on the far side, out of Hesperia. Both dial 425. Charlie Johnson on the brakes gets the job done. 428 to a 422. So Jim Lahr with the breakout, he was 422 with a 6. And Charlie Johnson, 428, is moving on to the next round. Looks like J-Dub's pretty happy there. So we're going to clean the track up and finish up Pro 2, round number 2. Like I said, pretty good field of cars here in Pro 2 today. Well, this is round 2. We had 4 pairs just go down. Looks like there's probably another 2 or 3 pairs back there ready to go. So nice field. So we are at Avenal Sand Jags in Avenal, California for their 2017 Spring Nationals event. You're watching the National Sand Jag News live stream. Thank you to all of our viewers tuning in, checking things out. 300-foot sand drag racing here in Central California. Got Larry out there on the starting line tractor, getting the starting line leveled out. Got the tractors heading this way. Really kind of a unique setup the way they have their grooming implements set up. They got one for each lane that hits the whole width of the lane, so all they have to do is just come down this way. They'll park them up here. The next time a check needs to be groomed, they'll go back down and park at the end of the track. So it cuts down the grooming time, the grooming process significantly, and helps keep the show moving along. The Avenal Sand Jags crew has done a great job this weekend putting cars down the track. Guys like Mario here, keeping the show running. He's heading back to the tower. Mario does a great job on the computer, keeping the show going there, keeping the timing system working great. Chachi, Mary, the whole Zavala crew, along with all the folks from here at Avenal Sand Jags that do the registration and all the other pieces of the puzzle. Everybody works together and puts on a great race. Looks like you're getting a pretty good crowd watching right now. Where's everybody from? Let us know where you're watching from. I see we got some folks from Maine checking in. Super Dave just checked in. It's probably raining in Washington, but I don't know. Just a guess. South Carolina on here, Texas. Thank you guys for checking in, seeing what's happening here in Avenal, California at the 300-foot sand drags on the National Sand Drag News live stream. And they're giving the signal to fire up, so we'll finish off round 2 of Pro 2. Next pair out is going to be Doyle Quinn over here on the near side in the 4-wheel drive Chevy pickup, putting down some big power over here up against Dennis Reich in the Hammer Down Racing Bracket Jeep. Small black Chevy power as always. So Doyle Quinn's dialed in at 410. This truck has been hauling this weekend. 410 the dial for Doyle on the near side, 425 the dial for Dennis Reich. Oh yeah, Doyle's purging the nitrous. See what kind of number he can throw down. Putting it down through there, but it's Dennis Reich turning on the wind light over on the far side. 433 at 64 miles an hour. Doyle was off his dial in here at 422. But a good weekend for Doyle. Laid down some really good laps in the Chevy pickup. And Dennis Reich will move on to the next round of Pro 2. Now it's going to be Justin Adamson on the near side in the Race Day Jeep. You just saw him advance on in Pro 3. Facing up with Adam Ross in the blown alcohol 59 Chevy pickup. over on the far side of the track. And the wind light to the far side. Justin Adamson turned on the red light here in the near lane. And Adam Ross, $3.99 on the 89 dial. He'll go on to round number 3. Adam and the Ross team have done a nice job keeping the front end down this weekend on the 59. Laid down some really nice laps in the 3-second zone, and $3.99 on that one to advance on. Now it's the buy run. This round in Pro 2, it's going to be Wes Johnson in the Snap-on Jeep. For Wes Johnson Snap-on tools here. Dialed in at 4.10. Wes was driving it. He goes 407 at 81 miles an hour on the 410 dial. So Wes Johnson will go on to round number 3 in the Pro 2 class. So we are going to clean the track real quick, and we'll be up with Pro 1. I believe this will be semifinals in Pro 1. Unfortunately, we've had a lot of breakage in the Pro 1 class this weekend. The winner of the October event, continuation, Steve Foster, he broke this morning. Grant Frazier in the Hummer, he had some transfer case issues again and was unable to make eliminations today. Wes Johnson, you saw him go down the track. His other Jeep, the red Jeep, was scheduled to run in Pro 1 as well, and they broke the converter in that car. So several scratches in Pro 1 today, so not a whole lot of cars made it for round 1, but looks like we got 4 cars ready for round 2 of this class. See who's going to go for the money later on. And I'll tell you what, the first pair is going to be worth watching for sure, because it's going to be Bob Cambridge and the near side out of Apple Valley, California. Small block Chevy power dragster up against Kenny Hayes. Kenny Hayes has been the story of the weekend so far. He won the Friday Pro Gambler. He won the Saturday Pro Gambler, and he won Sportsman 1 class on Saturday as well. So right now at this point, I believe he's won 17 rounds in a row this weekend. So we'll see if he can finish off a perfect weekend here. But this is going to be a big test for him, because Bob Cambridge has been on his game all weekend so far. Just about every pass Bob's made has been either a 331 or 332, so this should be a really good battle. It looks like the other pair will be Curtis Helmuth against Justin Adamson. So you're watching the National Sanddrag News live stream, presented by Avenal Sandrags. We're at the 2017 Avenal Sandrags Spring Nationals. 300-foot Sandrag racing. Getting ready to send Pro 1 down the track. 374 dial and faster. What the numbers are in this category. They're giving the signal to fire up. So like I said, it's going to be Bob Cambridge in the near lane. Dialed in at 331. Up against Kenny Hayes on the far side, dialed 346. starting line edge. He has Bob Cambridge with 35 on the 31. So Kenny with the starting line reaction time advantage takes the win to go to the final in Pro 1. That's 18 round wins in a row this weekend for Kenny. And he'll face the winner of this pair in the final. The Curtis Helmuth over here on the near side. In the Chevy Power Dragster up against Justin Adamson in the Rape Dave. Justin, the Norconian, as we've been calling them this weekend, up against Curtis Helmuth in the Heartburn Express Dragster. 374 dial for Justin, 370 for Curtis. Justin Adamson gets the job done. 381 on the 74 dial. Nice looking lap for Justin. It's going to be Justin Adamson and Kenny Hayes in the Pro 1 final here today at the 2017 Avenal Sand Drags Spring Nationals. Okay, folks, we're going to take a little break from the live stream. We'll come back later on with some final round coverage. Be sure to like us on our Facebook page and subscribe to our Facebook feed, and we'll keep you posted with all the latest. We'll also be back live for the Top Eliminator final, which should be coming up fairly soon. So thanks, guys, for tuning in, and we'll be back in a little bit.